everybody, and welcome to a brand new podcast called Beefmaster Banner. We are your hosts, Josh Morrison and Jared Strickland. Jared, come on in.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, you?
I'm doing good. This is going to be interesting.
It's very interesting, to say the least. We wanted to start this show just mainly to bring opinions, insights, interviews, and news from all over the breed, and mainly for some entertainment too. So,
Well, we're eat up with talking about beef masters all the time, and why not just talk about it on a podcast and share it with everybody? That way, everybody can kind of see what we're thinking and talk about it and have some inputs on that as well. So, uh, we we've been talking about this for several weeks now, so we decided to jump on out there and try it. So
yeah, that's right.
See where we go with it.
Jared, give a little background with your cattle and history with them.
So, as far as cattle, I bought my first Beefmaster cow in 2011 from a Clark Jones dispersal sale, and that's really when I got started. But as far as my experience with cattle, my dad Gary, he's been in the Beefmaster breed since the mid '90s or so, and we've always just had a small farm here at home. Had a few cows and a few commercial cows, and he's had some Beefmasters along the way, and I've always enjoyed being around them, and decided to get in the business when I got out of college with him, and so I bought my own and started after the college in 2011 and started just gathering a few here, and we were kind of limited on our land size, so we didn't have very many, about 10 head or so, and then we've just steadily started growing more and more as the years go by, and so now we have our own, we both have our own entities as far as accounts with BBU, but we run our cattle together now. So, but we've gotten up to about 50 cows total on our main farm, and about 40 of those are Beefmaster cows, and looking to make the whole herd Beefmaster here in the next year or two, and then also run cattle with a partner I got. We do a few stocker calves every year, which I do a couple loads of those, and then so that keeps me fresh on the commercial market as far as that goes. And then I also work with the University of Tennessee. That's my day job. I'm an extension agent with them, and so I'm in with cattle every day. Between making my livelihood with that, and then as far as and then farming when I get home off of work. So, like I tell my wife, I talk cattle when I get up, when I'm at work, and then when I get off, and then when I'm at the dinner table. So
Never gets old.
It never gets old, and until I get in trouble for talking about it too much. But I enjoy it, and I think actually this is probably a good thing for me to try as a podcast, because we talk about them all the time. So why not record it? So
That's
that's just a little bit about me, and I meet up with it. I think about it all the time, and I really love the cattle, the Beefmaster breed. I'm definitely biased to them, and as far as what I like, and I think they're a great breed of cattle, and we got a lot, momentum moving forward in this breed. So I'm definitely excited for the future and things like that, and being able to work with commercial producers in the area and things like that. I get to see the advantages of that and stay in that market as well. Because when it comes back to it, as a purebred breeder, the commercial market is your driving force to be relevant. So I get a lot of feedback that way as well. So
yeah, and I can kind of go off that too, because we've been in this since 2018, and I can see just from our short time trying to get, we're still in that building mode and trying to get going. The excitement's there. The excitement's just unreal about the Beefmaster breed in general.
And that's one thing too, especially with registry cattle. It always takes time to build, and you're really, building a program. You could be, especially for the guys that's been in it a long time, you could be decades down the road before you establish yourself well into it. If you build them up, replacement types. If you got the money, you can go out there and buy you a herd, but that's two different things. There's different ways of doing things, but it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of passion to be a breeder and purebred, I think.
Well, that kind of takes us into into our main subject for the night is, the importance of setting goals for your herd. I think that's the number one thing most of us understand and know. Do we know where we're going with it? Sometimes I have to back up and make sure that I'm on the path that we need to be, and I'm in, partners with my father-in-law, so we talk every day. I think the biggest thing, and something I wrote down for that, is the word easy. The commercial cattlemen don't want to be, standing around worried about who's calving. Are they going to be a mother? Are they going to be a good mama? Are they going to clean their baby off, milk, raise that baby to where you want it to be? I think that's something, probably more than anything, is that word. That's where I want to go with my herd.
Yeah, and that comes back to, when you think of functionality, that's a very important goal to have in your cattle, because typically if you're selling to someone, that as soon as you have problems, and don't take me wrong, cattle are going to have problems no matter how good your cattle are or things like that. That's going to show up because they're cattle. But as long as most people, especially on the east side of Mississippi, in our area anyway, they have a day job and then their cattle are their side gig, and the last thing they want to do is have to deal with problem cattle because they're working folks that don't have as much time to babysit them, and that's something that should be in part of everybody's goal, I think, as a breeder, a purebred breeder, or a commercial breeder, however you want to do it, is as long as its functionality is there, the cattle will work for you, and that's something that you definitely want to have in there. And just to add to the importance of setting goals is always, especially being a purebred breeder, you need to stick to those goals. Once you set them, figure out where you want to go, where your end markets are going to be, and stay with it. And you know as well, especially being a new breeder, you see the you see the excitements at sales and things like that, and that's all good. But just make sure that if you're at a sale buying and the excitement's there, make sure that's going to fit your goal, and you don't get caught up in a fad or something like that. Because it takes years to realize in a breeding program, you're always 2-3 years out of seeing what you're doing. So if you get off base, you just liable to cost you, like I was saying earlier, it may cost you a decade to get turned all the way around.
You guys are a good proponent to me, of course, because I believe y'all have kept the same genetics pretty much for years, correct?
Yeah, we've found some genetic lines that's worked for us, and that's something I've always learned from Dad. Is he always said, once you find something that works, why are you going to try something that may not work? So our cattle's always, we've kind of bred the same genetics for years, and we try new things, but we don't completely change the whole realm of what we're doing. And there's always ways to tinker with stuff and try some new lines that work. And then, but that's one thing that I've learned from him is once you make a breeding match, it works. Try it again. Don't be random with your selection. Say if you got a cow that has an excellent calf, or if you're flushing a cow that you have great calves out of that mating, don't be scared to go back and just do it again, because you can build a consistent set of cattle that way once you say if you get some good calves and then you just try say this bull over here and those calves ain't any good, you're in my opinion, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot when you already know something's working. Go ahead and build some consistency and then start tinkering with that and try to build on that program.
Right. Build off your females. I think that's a very important thing is, you and I have talked about this because that's kind of where we're at. I've got a lot of different pedigrees and lines we're trying out right now to try to figure out exactly where our females are going to go. But I know you and I have talked about tons of times. Your females are what you build your herd.
Yeah, and Beefmaster cattle are that way. I've always, and that's something that we could probably debate for years, but most of the time a good bull comes from a very strong maternal side of things, and that's something I've learned from the guys that's been in the breed a long time is look at before you buy a bull, what's her mama, what's her grandmama like, and or what's his mama and grandmama like, because that'll kind of give you the tale of what's going on there, and and then if you got a good female line bull, you're probably going to do well, because we really our breed as a whole, really hound on those maternal genetics, and I think that's a good thing to look at when you're looking for a bull.
Well, and I think longevity comes into play there too. When you find that maternal line and don't get me wrong, having different maternal lines in your herd is a great thing, but when you find that one special mixture that works for you and your in market, your end user per se, you can run that for years, and I think that's a great thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you look at cattle from the bigger breeders, just study the genetics and talk with them and see, and that's one thing I think they're going to tell you is a lot of those cattle at those sales and stuff, they're going to talk about that bottom side of that animal and look at the generations that they built off of those lines.
And I think you can go ahead. Sorry.
That's where they get their consistency at.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Another thing about staying the course, and I've got on here not being swayed, is when we very first got started in this, like I said, back in 2018, Neil Hyatt Diamond H is the one that got us started, and me and him are great friends. One thing he told us when we first started and told him we were going to go we wanted to be and start breeding purebreds only. He told us, he said, keep your head down. You're going to have problems. Things are going to arise. Just keep your head down and keep grinding. And I think that was a big help when we very first started.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I mean, if you're the one that's got to look at them every day and feed them every day, so they need to be something that you like, and that always stick with what you like and what you're doing, and I think you'll be successful, especially if you pick something that's very marketable.
Well, and two, I think you can, also say, especially for me being newer to these new breeders, get out there, go to your satellites. There's multiple satellites you can join, be a part of, make friends. I mean, there's so many people out there willing to help you. I think that's a big thing for the new people, and something that was big for me and my father-in-law getting into this is just how friendly everyone was and how willing to help everyone is with, whether it be opinions, insights on pedigrees, what to look for in EPDs and scan data. That's a big thing.
Yeah, that kind of leads to something else. I think that we've talked about in doing this podcast, is to make it available for newer breeders that want to listen and talk over some things that what's going on in the breed and stuff like that, use this as a resource maybe to help you and you're getting started, as far as, because that's something we've talked about. We want to try to cover all the different sales coming up and past sales and some things going on within the breed, and use it kind of almost as a news source. If we get this going the way we want it, use it as a way to keep up on the recent things going on in the breed as well. And I think we want to kind of gear it towards, in a way, for the new breeders coming on to help them get some maybe some recognition of different, there's different segments of the breed and you may not know about them, and maybe this will help you with that.
Right. And the people in different parts of the United States that maybe didn't know that they had that opportunity there for them that they'll be able to go do. I think you're exactly right. It's going to be a fun time through these podcasts. These first couple, we're getting our bearings about us, but that's okay. We got to start somewhere. So, but yeah, we're going to try to make sure we keep the sale reports. I know I see a lot of people wanting to know about those. But yeah, just especially for like you said, for the newer breeders that maybe we'll all learn something and get some entertainment out of it anyways.
That's right. And then, if you hear this and have something that you want us to talk about or have questions about or things like that, reach out to us. I'm sure you'll be able to, I guess, Josh, we're going to have a page and things like that. You can reach out to us. And if you want to be on the podcast and talk about your cattle or your sale or whatever your program's doing, definitely reach out to us. That way we can, because I think, and I think this, I know Josh, you do too. We're going to learn a lot from this, just talking with different folks in the breed, and how they're doing things. And, we may be the ones that benefit from it the most. I don't know.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. I look forward to learning about probably pedigrees I had no idea were even out there, or pedigrees that maybe I've looked at and overlooked, not for any reason in particular, just because I didn't know anything about them. But like Jared said, we've got a Facebook up. It's Beefmaster Banner. Feel free to message us. Like I said, we'll have all sorts of people interviewed on here. It's going to be a fun time. I do want to say Live Oak Beefmaster bull sale was outstanding on January the 8th. 112 bulls averaging 87.77. That's outstanding for the first sale of the year.
Yeah, I guess they definitely is going to get the year started off with some momentum right there, because I'd have to look back and see, but that's sure enough barn burner there for that many bulls and getting it started. There's definitely some excitement and some demand for our bulls, and I like how they went to making that more of a tested sale. We're starting to see a lot more of the buyer end of that. That's what they're kind of wanting. We see all these different performance tests sales coming up. You got Beef on Forage and Next Gen Live Oak and Red River and several others. OHOA's got one and Collier and all that. And I think there's going to be a lot of demand for that going forward.
I think so too. And there was some really good bulls in this sale. I didn't look at the catalog. I looked at some videos on Facebook that folks were posting before the sale, and there was some really nice bulls there. I look forward to seeing what all is at the rest of them. And if we ever miss a sale and you guys want to know about it, let us know. We'll research it and figure it out. That's what we're here for. Yeah. But I think that's about all we've got. It's a little shorter tonight than what we have probably set for ourselves. We want to do some 30-minute podcasts. Sometimes they may run a little longer, sometimes a little shorter. But if there's ever anything you all want us to hit on that we don't, please let us know, because we always want talking points. Like Jared said earlier, we can talk for hours on cattle. So anything you all want to hear, let us know. But we're going to try to do these. We're going to try to come out with them probably every 2 weeks. Of course, life gets in the way sometimes, so that may not happen exactly. But we will. I guess we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be fun. Just, but yeah, like I said, like Josh is saying, and we're saying, just reach out to us, listen to it, subscribe, however we got to do to get it out there, and get this thing rolling. It may take us some time to really kind of get going, but I think in the long run, it may be beneficial for everyone involved. So I just appreciate you listening to us, and we'll see how this goes. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you for everything. Thank you for listening. Like Jared said, subscribe, listen, let us know, and then we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one.
See ya.